Hello and welcome into a new video in the Diwani scripts. In today's video we are going to learn the following letters. We will start with the letter Ha, Jeem, Kha, and we will learn several shapes of this letter and how it comes connected, because we do have several shapes just like the Ra'a script, two shapes in fact. After that we are going to look into the Dal and Ra'a. They look quite different than normal scripts and how it looks like when it comes connected. Then we will look into the Ra and Zain, of course, including the connected shape. Mind you, as you can see, the title of the course is the Hashim al-Baghdadi style, so this should be the Iraqi school. We will look into other schools in the future. We will start with the Ha. Now for the letter Ha, it's quite close to the Ra'a. If you haven't learnt Ra'a, you should actually start with that script, then continue with scripts such as the Diwani. Now the Ha is 2 points by 2 points for the head, the top part of the Ha. So you have 1, 2, this is the width, and the height would be also 2. The moves here are the following. We go top left, then top right. Now that's different from Ra'a, because the Ra'a we used to go back straight. Here it's different. So you would hold the pen vertical, as we talked about with the cut. Then you go top left, just like this, then top right, as we can see here. So you start almost the middle point here. You go left, right, then back. As we can see, it's a triangle that is pointing upward. Sometimes they make it even sharper, and they add a small nudge up here, as we can see. Now the body itself again is 6 points, just like the Ra'a. So you'd start from here. It extrudes, then it goes back. When it goes back in a thin line, and it sort of sits on here. It's quite balanced and delicate. There's another shape where the letter basically goes back instead of going down. So here we have the head. You go down, then you do this. It's similar to the other Ha. So this is the singular Ha. When it comes at the beginning of a word, we have two shapes depending on the letter that is following it. The first one is this one. We go up, rotate, come back, then we go back like this. This is the first shape. The second one is basically the same shape as this one. This comes with the same letters, with all letters in, except for these ones that comes with this one. So for example, here we have the Ra, Ha, Ya, Mim, and Ha, or Ta marbuta, which is basically one of these shapes. And there's finally this shape. So with any of these letters here, we use this head. Meanwhile, for the other letters, we use this one. Now, let's go back to this shape. It consists of two moves. The first one is going vertical and rotating. Quite thin, thick. When you go back like this. You go curve in this way, then you curve the other way around. depending on the letter that follows it. So for example, if there was a ba, ha, for example hub. Meanwhile, for the second one, this one, it curves the other way around. So har, you will see that har looks like this. We curved this way, then we curved the other way around. Meanwhile, had, we curved this way, then this way. As you can see, the curves are opposite to each other, and that's why we've got several shapes to them. To remember them, if you took just the second move, it would be this one. Meanwhile, the other one is this one. So they are quite different because they curve into the opposite directions. This is for the letter ha. When it comes in the middle, again it's the same as Ra'a, depending on the letter that is before it. For example, lam, and we would go back like this. For example, lahm. It's the second, so we've got the first, second and third. Those two are the sort of moves we go for. This one and this one. Now, you have to keep in mind that this goes up because the whole script is pointing downward. So you don't go straight like we did in Ra'a. In Diwani we go upward to make it look quite inclined downward. Let's do, for example, Hajij. Ha. Jeem. Ya. Jeem. As we can see, we go upward. This is the nabila for the ya. We talked about it. And when we connect a ba to a tha to a ya to a ha, or a letter that is connected from above, we use a ya head. Then we connect whatever letter comes after it. This is a meme. If we had a ha, for example, so Uriya, for example, Hubbi, ha. Hubbi is written with this ha. Yeah. So, at the end of a word, as we can see here, you have this shape or the other shape that goes back. This one that sort of comes back like this. Let's move on to the Dal. For the Dal, we have several moves for it. So the singular Dal we are talking about now. The singular Da comes in these shapes. The first one would be to go up to the left, rounding shape, going back, then doing the Alif move. If you remember from the first class, we said the Alif has these moves. This is the Dal. We take this, the third move. So the first one would be going up to the left, then rotating, then coming back. If we were to scale this, almost 2 points. Let's add 1 point in here. Now again, this would be similar to the one we took in the Alif. So we've got 3 points out, and like the 4th point would be in here. So you keep practicing this. It's quite easy. You simply go to the left, then rotate, then come back. Generally, you have to look to the shape inside here. It has to look like this. You will need a sort of a curvy to the left that is curved like this, then a rotation, then the last one would come back down here. And this is only for the singular dal. You might see it look like this in for some calligraphers. They sometimes do it like really wide. The top of it would be really wide, but any shape would work for the dal. But that's in Diwani jelly. They remove the first part and they keep the second. They do this dal. Now when dal connects, we sort of add a nudge upward like the one in Ra'a. So let's write hadid, ha. Here we go up. This upward move is a dal. Then we go down like this. Now the end is shallow and thin. Again, for the end, while moving to the left, you rotate the pen like this. You rotate it clockwise. In some cases, I think left-handed people, they need to rotate it the other way around if they were holding the pen this way. So you need to sort it out yourself to figure out which angle is good for you. Let's add the ya and the dal. Hadid. So this is how you write a dal. You have to add this upward move. For the ra, it's close to the dal, but we sort of change the following. You basically go up like a start of a bar, then you do the alif move, this one. So you go up and you go down. If you were to measure this again, it's 3 points, and this one would be 4. This would be 3 points, the height from the right. And when you connect it, you basically connected this part here. So harir, you've got the hat. Going down, now the ra comes from here and slides downward like this. You see the curve we added here? Then we add the lower part of it. Ya ra. Let's write hadid and harir together. So we start with the ha. Then we go for dal. Had. The ya. Dal. Hadid. We know that it's a dal because of the shape of the ha and this, the nudge upward. Harir, we change the ha. And we sort of go down for the ra. Ya, ra. You have to practice these two quite a lot to let them sink in and never forget them. Now we talked about the ha, the dal and the ra. Jeem, kha and dal and zai. Those letters with the dots, they are the same thing, so you just add the dots for them depending on where what type of a letter they are. So let's just quickly recap. We've learned the following letters today: Ha, Jeem, Kha, Dal, Dal, connected and disconnected, Ra and Zain in both shapes. For the Ha, we saw these two shapes, two endings, and for the connected one, we have also two shapes. This one that comes with those letters, Ra, Ha, Ya, Mim, Ha, or Ta marbuta, and the other shape that comes with the remaining letters. So for example, Alif would use this shape. Then we saw the moves for the Ha. We've got one that rotates this way and the other one rotates the other way around. Then we saw how it looks like inside the word, mid-word, and at the end of a word with the two shapes. We talked briefly about this connection, the nabira, in case if you forgot about it. Then we moved on to the dal. We saw how the dal looks like, the scale of it, and the notes about it with regards to the ending too. And we compared hadid with harir. Now there's something important to see, which is we have other shapes for the dal and the ra. We have this ra and this dal. It comes connected. So these, for example, the ra usually comes anywhere. So for harir, you could write harir this way. You would find people that would use this ra, just to make it look nice. The dal is the same thing. Now, dal and ra are disconnected letters from the left. You don't connect them from the left. But in some scripts, we use this curve. By the way, this curve is similar to the alif one, the shape that was like this. You could use 2 points and just rotate it. We connect it to an alif. So for example, harara, and here you will have the alif shape, as we can see, and you can connect this to the ta marbuta or marara. So these shapes, the curve upward does connect to some letter. In the Arabian, in the Iraqi style, in Hashim al-Baghdadi, it's not that abundant, but in the Turkish style, it changes the whole script. They do add a lot of these connections. So try the following letters for a homework, or following words. Let's do hajib, ha, alif. Now remember the ba is big, so we could get the jeem here and put the ba here. Hajib, or the judge. Dal, jeem, alif, jeem. Now, for example, I raised this jeem here just to have a nice combination, a nice sort of balance between the letters. Let's write radar, which is the same word. So here we have a ra, an alif, dal, another alif, another ra. This is one way of writing it. You could actually write a line here and a line down here, just to make sure that all your lower parts are coming together. like these parts down here. You could also do this to it. You've got a Ra. You would go up with it, and it will connect with this Alif here. The Alif also could come upward. Connects to the Dal. Connects to the Alif. And connects to, this is the Alif, then the Ra comes over here. So this is also a way of using it to just connect the letters together. But of course you had to make it clear that this is an Alif and this is a Dal and this is an Alif. So try these words, and you could also try Hadid and Harir. And hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure to like and subscribe, and see you in the next one. Goodbye.